Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and welcome to Primetime Local News. Fire crews were called to the scene of a structure fire in Lloydminster today. Around 1:30, crews were dispatched to 5712 50th Avenue. Flames and smoke could be seen coming from the home. No word on a cause or injuries. The investigation is continuing. 2 more Saskatchewan residents have died from COVID-19. Both were in the Regina zone. There are 245 new cases, including 53 in the Northwest zone. Our zone has the 3rd highest number of active cases in the province, behind only Saskatoon and Regina. The Northwest 2 subzone has 14 new cases and 199 active cases. 3,736 cases are active in the province. 121 people are in hospital, including 8 in the Northwest. 17 people are in intensive care. 485 have recovered. And a coronavirus outbreak has been declared at the Onion Lake Cree Nation. As of yesterday morning, there are 100 cases of COVID-19 in the community. 7 people are in hospital and 2 are in intensive care. A lockdown is now in effect until at least January 4th, and check stops will be set up coming in and out of the community to prevent the spread of the virus.
It definitely is something that needs to take place to prevent further unknown traffic from coming in. Of course, we're still in a position of not allowing any visitors to come into the community.
Most cases have been from social gatherings, and contact tracing is underway. The COVID-19 pandemic has forced us to stay home a lot more this year. For those living in a dangerous environment, staying at home might not always have been the safest decision, but the one they had to make in order to avoid the virus. The Lloydminster Interval Home Society's emergency shelter provides a safe space for women and children. Because of the pandemic, they had to cut their shelter space down in order to avoid the spread of the virus. While they expected to be overrun, they saw lower numbers in their residential program.
We saw more people calling the crisis line and saw requests to our community outreach program increase. So domestic violence is still happening during the pandemic. And in fact, women are in more danger than they were before because of this sense of either it's a fear to go into shelter because of COVID, or a sense of no resources, which were tenuous before, but even now in the world of COVID, resources are even more tenuous.
For the people living with their abusers or in an abusive relationship, COVID-19 has added on other factors they need to take into consideration before they make their decision.
They are weighing the risk of COVID where they were weighing risks before, like what happens if I leave? Is he going to hurt me? Is he going to hurt my children? How am I going to afford to leave? How am I going to pay my bills and my rent? Now you add, am I going to contract COVID-19? Are my kids going to get COVID-19? What if the school shuts down? How am I going to work and afford childcare? Like it was just another layer of challenge that was put on folks.
The province of Alberta also saw a decrease in the number of people going into shelter this year. Santa Claus will be stopping by on December 25th, but this Christmas is going to look very different. With City Council breaking until the new year, Mayor Gerald Albers addressed Christmas in Lloydminster. Eric Bay has more.
Many Christmas celebrations have already been altered this year, including Thursday's Parade of Lights. Saskatchewan's latest COVID regulations will limit indoor gatherings to 5 people, but Mayor Gerald Albers encourages people to meet virtually during the holiday season.
Safety is paramount for everybody. At the end of the day, we want to encourage people to also look after each other's neighbors and friends. And that's where, by reaching out, making sure their lights are on, giving them a call, ensuring that hopefully they've got someone there. From the regulations I understand in Saskatchewan, if you are 1 or 2 individuals and you have a neighbor next door, you can invite that neighbor over to join you for Christmas supper.
The mayor also stressed the importance of doing the little things by following COVID measures that have been in place since the pandemic began.
And I want to remind everyone about wearing masks, washing your hands, doing what you can do to help stop and decrease the spread of COVID. Our healthcare system is challenged. It's very challenged right now. And from that perspective, we all have a responsibility to help out where we can.
Along with other Saskatchewan mayors, Mayor Albers spoke with Premier Scott Moe, who acknowledged the challenges facing the province.
I had a chance this morning in a conference call with other mayors of the cities of Saskatchewan to talk to Premier Moe, and he was very adamant. He said, we have some challenges. We can get through those challenges if everybody works together, and we'll make for a much better Christmas in 2021.
Outdoor gatherings in the province are limited to 10 people. Saskatchewan's COVID measures will be reevaluated January 15th. Eric Bay, Primetime Local News.
There is some good news for Lloydminster residents during the pandemic. The 6th annual Parade of Lights was a big hit last night. Although the event was different this year due to safety restrictions, the support was still strong from the community. Our Shelby Clark has the details.
This year's Parade of Lights had the Lloyd X's grounds filled with floats, drivers, and even Santa Claus.
Yeah, each year we've been a part of it, and Santa asks us to help him out each year, so that's what we've been doing, and we usually are the last float to finish off the parade.
Makachuk says setting up the float is enjoyable every year, even with COVID-19 and the cold weather involved.
Yeah, this is honestly like such a good way to do it this year rather than having the parade, since that wasn't an option. Doing the reverse parade is a really great option to have for us, so yeah.
The event proved how supportive residents are in Lloydminster right when the gates opened at 4 p.m.
We've been really fortunate with this community, and everybody's following the rules like they should be, and it's just really good to see the community come out to see this.
LeBlanc believes Parade of Lights needed to happen to get people in the holiday spirit before Christmas.
I just want to thank all our sponsors. I want to thank the committee that helps put this thing on, the exhibition, the Health Foundation. Without all their support, this event wouldn't be possible. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to the community for coming out and supporting it.
After such a successful turnout, the parade continued past 8 p.m. for drivers who had to wait longer in line to see the lights.
No, it's great. We really appreciate everybody coming out. The support is huge. The people come out to put up on display. Everybody coming out is what we're after. We want everybody to have a great Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone.
For Primetime Local News, I'm Shelby Clark.
Now our Connor Chan will take a look at your weather.
All right, thanks a lot, Jasmine. Yes, it was very cold last night at the Parade Lights if you happen to be down there. Lots of wind gusts, and that wind's kind of continuing on right now as we see coming in from the south-southeast. It's going to continue to be so, the story for the next little bit here until we get into tomorrow, where it's going to be a little bit warmer, but minus 17 is what it is outside right now. It does feel a little bit more closer to minus 30 with that added wind chill. Now, as we take a look at other temperatures in the area, wind is still a factor in our region, so minus 16 in Vermilion, Marwayne, and also up in Bonnyville, Cold Lake, and Pearceland. Minus 8 in Edmonton, so it's a little bit warmer there. Minus 13 for Vegreville. We also see minus 20 in North Battleford right now with minus 18 in Maidstone. Minus 20 for Meadow Lake, and then minus 17 in St. Walburg. Then we see minus 22 up in Isle of Cross, and then we see also minus 14 in Wainwright. Here's a look at the satellite radar map. There is a little bit of chance of some flurries coming back our way here over the next little bit here. There's a chance we could see it up north, up in the Cold Lake areas, but it's more so further out west that we could see some snow out there. There is a minimal chance that we could see snow heading into tomorrow, but it will be a nicer day in terms of less wind expected throughout the daytime here. So we're going to have those temperatures kind of what we normally saw for the last little bit here. But looking overnight in North Battleford, minus 14 expected tonight, going into minus 3 tomorrow with the wind though, so it could be a little bit colder than that minus 3 with sun and cloud mix there. Looking at us here in Cold Lake, minus 14 overnight with some cloud coverage going into tomorrow. As I mentioned, the snow could come a little bit there with a chance of flurries there at minus 4 with a little bit of sun throughout the day, but mostly some cloud coverage. We'll still have some decent winds though for us here in Lloydminster, but minus 4 is expected for our temperature tomorrow as our daytime high, but overnight we are going to be expecting minus 12 as our high, and the wind kind of slowly starting to die down there. But as we look ahead into the next 3 days, excuse me, minus 2 there on Sunday. We could see some more snow continuing on out there with some cloud coverage at minus 2, and then we look at Monday, minus 4 is the daytime high expected there with a low there of minus 9. The wind chill could be a little bit of another factor as well. Seeing it there, it could feel more like minus 22. That is a look at your weather forecast for now. We'll have more primetime local news coming up after the break.
On December 12th, the Lloydminster Border Blades Speed Skating Club's speed den at the Husky Oval was vandalized. Evan Kenny has more with the club's president.
I'm joined now by Charmaine Stevens, the president of the Lloydminster Border Blades Speed Skating Club. Charmaine, thank you for taking this time. Now, first things first, why don't you just take us through the weekend when you did show up to the Husky Oval and see what was done?
Yes, it was actually Saturday morning, I think. It happened Friday night, Saturday morning sometime. Just one of our members had went down for a skate and gave me a call with some pictures. And we immediately packed up and went down to the Oval to see if we could help clean up. When we walked in, we seen the damage to the building, of course, with the windows smashed out. The other thing that we seen was just all of our stuff that had been inside, the stuff our kids play with to have practice, had been thrown through the windows. And so we just started gathering stuff and cleaning up glass.
Now, Charmaine, what were you feeling at this time?
When I first seen it, I think there was, for me, it was sadness, just that it had happened at all. I've been a member of the club for so long that I kind of think of the kids as my own. So to see all their stuff thrown through the windows, and I found it very hurtful. And just, I've also been with the buildings from the very moment we've decided to build it to the end. So knowing that the volunteer hours and stuff that went into it, I just felt that it had been disrespected, and I felt saddened by it more than anything.
Now, Charmaine, the Speed Den is meant to be a place for community gatherment and community involvement. Now, are you surprised that somebody would do this to a place like that?
I think it's always surprising, though, when we see vandalism. It's a hard thing to understand. And for us, because when we first built the den, the Oval wasn't getting used very much. And it was one of the things we know as a club, the Oval is so beneficial to us to be able to practice out there. There's nowhere else you can practice long track speed skating, but on a speed skating Oval. So we really knew that we wanted other people to get out there and enjoy it, so that we would have it for years to come. So when we built the den, it wasn't just for us, but it was for the community to try and create another hub. And we've seen that happen. So to think that someone just wanted it not to be there was surprising.
Now, you made a Facebook post on the club's behalf, and in that post, you said you felt like the club was personally attacked. Do you mind just building on this a little bit?
I think just because we view it as our home. So at first, when I did see it, that was my first reaction. I think when you go outside, when we went there and seen our stuff thrown through the windows, it felt very personal. It actually wasn't until I got home and started reading the Facebook posts from other people that I realized that the den now, it really had become what we wanted it to become. It had become a place for the community, and it felt less personal that way for stuff like that. They had done this to our entire community and not just to us.
Now, when will the windows be fixed, and when will the den be, as back to normal as possible?
The city is working on it. I know we're working through some plans for the windows, if there's any changes we have to make. When we built the den, the windows were a big talk. We knew that this could be a possibility. For our sport, we felt they were so important, like any sport. And I think we've seen this year how much it hurts to not be able to see your kids do what they love. We wanted to have them there so parents could be inside and watch their kids compete. And as we get to the point where we can hold competitions out there, they're vital to us. So we are working with the city on what that will look like in the future, how we'll replace those, and hopefully avoid something like this in the future.
And finally, Charmaine, back in 2017, when the Speed Den did open, how special was this for the club?
It was a huge moment. Like I said, my family actually joined in 2005, and at that time, the Oval was just opening, and so that was a big moment. And when it opened, we were happy. We went outside, we skated. So for the next, I guess, 15 years, we were there as the club, as kids dressed in a sea can, in a freezing cold sea can that was obviously colder inside than outside. So that day when it opened, it was a huge moment for us who had worked towards it, but to see the kids and how it changed their excitement to come to practice. I mean, it's exciting when you can go in and warm up. Is actually even the Monday before this had all happened, we'd had practice out there, and the kids, again, it seems to happen every practice, would be sitting in the den getting their skates on and saying, do you remember when we didn't have this building? So it's still fresh to us. We remember what it was like to not have it. So it's changed for us. And during COVID here, it's allowed us to have our 3 and 4 year olds out there getting ready as well, which before it just wasn't an option. It was too cool.
Charmaine, thank you so much for joining me. This was Charmaine Stevens, the president of the Lloydminster Border Blades Speed Skating Club.
Now we're Connor Chan. We'll take a look at your weather forecast.
All right, thanks a lot, Jasmine. Looking right now, still sitting around that minus 17 mark right now. As we look out west, it's a little bit warmer in some areas. There is lots of wind, though, in the immediate Lakeland regions. But as we look at Edmonton, Edson, and Rocky Mountain House, all sitting right now at minus 8. 4 degrees out in Jasper with minus 7 in Red Deer, minus 16 also we see there in Whitecourt, and minus 14 in Athabasca, along with minus 16 in Cold Lake. Much colder in Saskatchewan, sitting at minus 20 in Meadow Lake and North Battleford right now. Minus 19 for Saskatoon, minus 21 in Prince Albert. Then we see minus 22 all the way out in Melfort. Now, as we take a look up north, also very cold. We look at minus 26 for La Loche and Buffalo Narrows there, as well as in La Ronge. Minus 30 we see in Wollaston Lake, with minus 36 in Stony Rapids and minus 34 currently in Uranium City. We also see minus 24 on the border of Manitoba and Saskatchewan there in Flin Flon. Now take a look at northern Alberta, minus 30 we see there in Fort Chipewyan alone, minus 30 we see in the northern Alberta area, minus 27 in High Level with minus 24 for Fort McMurray, minus 16 in Slave Lake, and minus 20 for Peace River with minus 15 in Grand Prairie. Now looking at southern Alberta and Saskatchewan, very much different story again. We see 6 degrees in Calgary and Lethbridge there right now, with 2 degrees in both Medicine Hat and Banff. Coronation, very cold right now at minus 14 as we look into southern Saskatchewan. Minus 9 in Swift Current currently, with minus 13 in Moose Jaw. And then we see minus 17s in Kindersley, Regina, and in Yorkton. And then we see minus 14 in Estevan. Now take a look across the rest of the country. Of course, most of the eastern provinces are getting very dark right now. Minus 12 in Winnipeg, as well as in Quebec City. Minus 4 for Toronto. Minus 1 in Halifax. Then we see 0 degrees in St. John's with some cloud coverage there. 7 degrees in Vancouver with some showers continuing on. Almost 40 degrees, almost minus 40 degrees, excuse me, up in Yellowknife. And we see minus 20 all the way up in Whitehorse in the Northwest Territories there. Now, as we look at temperatures for tomorrow, it's going to be a little bit warmer, but the wind's still going to pick up, still be kind of similar to what it is. Around 20 kilometers is what we're expecting for the wind tomorrow. So minus 4 is our expected daytime high. Could feel a little bit more like minus 10 and a little bit up from that, but minus 2 we see in Vermilion, minus 5 in St. Paul and Marwayne tomorrow, minus 3 in Bonnyville with minus 4 for Cold Lake. We see minus 1s in Provost and Vegreville. Edmonton sitting at 0s tomorrow along with Wainwright. We see minus 3s as well as in Maidstone and North Battleford. And then we'll see minus 15 up in Isle La Crosse with minus 4 in Meadow Lake and minus 6 in Green Lake. So here's a look at what we could see over the next 7 days. We could see some flurries over the weekend. Here's some scattered flurries for that matter. Looking into Sunday, minus 2, though, is the expected daytime high. Minus 4 on Monday. So we're going to see a little bit more cloud coverage starting on Sunday there. Minus 12 on Tuesday. Minus 10 on Wednesday. Minus 1 there on Thursday. On Christmas Eve there as the high and a low of minus 10. And then as we head on Christmas Day here, we'll have a nice day of sun and cloud with minus 2 as the daytime high. That is a look at your 7-day forecast. We'll have more primetime local news coming up after the break.
So I'm joined today with Lisa Denny and Jenny Bennett, and they are organizers of the Walk for Max, and they're raising money for Max, this little boy in Fairview. First of all, ladies, before we talk about the walk itself, can you just tell me about Max and the condition that he's in right now?
Well, Max is nearing his 2nd birthday, and he was diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy type 2, also known as SMA type 2. It's a rare debilitating disease. He's going to have issues breathing, walking, swallowing. Eventually, without this treatment, he's not going to be able to stand or sit on his own. So the treatment that there is for this is a $2.8 million treatment that he has to have before his second birthday, January 11th of 2021. So we are in a race against time here for him. And the treatment will allow him to have a better quality of life as well as a longer life.
So how did you two first hear about Max and his case?
There was actually a post shared on Art, Soul, and Life's page on Facebook. He's got a cousin with that company. So that's how we had heard about it.
And you two obviously decided now to organize a walk to try and raise some money to help towards this treatment. Can you guys just tell me a bit? It's happening this Sunday. Can you tell me a bit about when it'll be, where it'll be, and how people can take part?
Yeah, we're going to hold it Sunday at 1 o'clock. We'll be meeting on the east end at the Co-op gas station. And then we'll make our way all the way to the west end of the Hampton Inn, back to the gas station at our starting point. We do have a donation bin that will be set up from 12:45 to 1:45 at the gas station, and again from 3 till 4 at that gas station.
And is there any other way for people to contribute, say maybe if they're not here in Lloydminster or they don't want to, go out on that day?
To do an e-transfer, it's SYCH, SYCH, at ualberta.ca. Now, I may not be correct on the pronunciation of that. So, but they can do an e-transfer directly to the family.
Awesome. And obviously this is an important cause. And I think anyone that hears about this story is going to, their heart's going to go out to them and they're going to want to contribute. For you two personally, what about this case in particular encouraged you guys to want to do your part?
We just like to do what we can to help out in the community. And as a mother, I would do anything in my power if I was in that position to be able to help my child. So why can't we team up and help the other child, someone else's?
And obviously you guys mentioned too, this is a race against time as he needs this treatment for his second birthday. Are there other campaigns to support, raise money for this treatment going on across the province?
I did see on the family's Facebook page, it's Moving Mountains for Mighty Max. And there is all sorts of auctions where people are making things and selling things and trying to come up with different ways to fundraise for him.
And what was that Facebook page again?
It's called Moving Mountains for Mighty Max.
All right. And so that is another place where people can contribute and support in other ways as well.
Yeah, you bet. If you can just join that group. I think it's set up as a group. So you just join that group and you can see what they're offering for things and help out in a different way that way.
Awesome. And is there anything else that you guys would really want to get across today?
Just supporting, it doesn't matter that Max lives in Fairview. He obviously has a relative in Lloydminster. Being in a smaller community and just with the situation with the last year with COVID and kind of desperate times for call for desperate measures, but at the same time coming together, banding as a unit, and it doesn't matter if it's one of us, two of us, just trying to show our support as best we can.
And Alicia, do you have any final thoughts?
I just wanted to actually extend the invite for anybody else who might like to go out for a walk that day. It's supposed to be nice outside, so if anybody wants to join us, feel free. The more the merrier. We just ask that if you can distance yourself a little bit, distance yourself, as well as wear a mask.
And just before we go, if you guys could go over again the time and where you guys are going to be meeting up on Sunday.
Sunday, 1 p.m., Co-op gas station on the east side, all the way to the Hampton Inn on the west end, and then back.
Awesome. Thank you both for joining me today, and I wish you guys the best of luck as you guys are working hard for an important cause.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've still got an opportunity to check out some great movies as part of the 12 Days of Christmas at May Cinema 6 in downtown Lloydminster. Some classic Christmas movies on the big screen, including It's a Wonderful Life on the big screen tomorrow. And coming up on Sunday, Bing Crosby stars in White Christmas. You can see him on the big screen. Monday, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. On Tuesday, A Christmas Story, A Christmas Carol. So many classic Christmas movies on the big screen right here at May Cinema 6. If you want to get tickets, you can go online or stop by the theater. A great way to ring in 2021 would be with some extra cash in your pocket. And thanks to the B. Fisher Foundation, you got a chance to win what could be up to $25,000 with the B. Fisher Foundation's 50/50. You can get tickets online, and there's a number of different ticket options. You can get one ticket for $10, four for $20. Maybe some people at work, you're going to go in together and get the 20 for $50 package and more. Plus, you support the B. Fisher Foundation, and they are planning on making a number of improvements and doing a number of renovations to their different care homes here in the city of Lloydminster. So support a great cause and start the new year with some extra cash with the B. Fisher Foundation's 50/50. The City of Lloydminster has put together a map of all the houses that are entered in their Christmas house decorating contest, so you can get it from their website, lloydminster.ca. Take a tour around the city and check out all the beautiful Christmas lights this season. And also, there's plenty of opportunity for you to do some skating on a number of outdoor rinks that are now open here in the City of Lloydminster. Once again, for full details, head to the city's website, lloydminster.ca. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Well, joining us for this Christmas edition of the entertainment panel is Abby St. John. Of course, this is probably the last panel of 2020, as we will not be on the air on the next couple of Fridays here. With it being Christmas next week, we thought we'd talk about Christmas movies and some movies to maybe watch with the family this year. We're going to start with some live action ones, Abby. Just some suggestions in your mind that some families should watch together this season.
Yes, I think starting off with an absolute classic, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the 2000 version with Jim Carrey, of course. It has always been my favorite Christmas movie. I think back when I don't even know how old I was. My birthday lands in June. We went out for dinner, said that it was my birthday at Eastside Mario's, remembering when that was a place and a thing. And they gave me a VHS version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey version. One, I thought that was weird considering my birthday was in June, but I loved it. I thought it was incredible that I got a movie and it happened to be one of my favorite Christmas movies. It's a great movie for the whole family to watch. It's funny, it's entertaining, and of course, it's based off of an amazing story as well. So definitely something that a lot of families probably have already watched, and maybe it's a tradition that you watch it every year, but that's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, and of course, some of the other classics, A Christmas Story as well as Christmas Vacation. I know Christmas Vacation is very popular one in my house. Even Love Actually as well. That's also a very popular one. But of course, there's a lot of great live action ones, but now there's also the great cartoon ones. There's tons I can name off. Charlie Brown Christmas is one. Even though it's not technically a movie, there's a few of those iterations that are really, really good. And of course, there was an animated Grinch that came out 2 years ago, Abby. So some other there are just a lot of those holiday classics are just built for animation, and we do see that in recent years.
Yes, something that's always been very close to my family, especially my sister. This is her favorite Christmas movie, but The Polar Express has always been a very special Christmas movie that we, as my family, have always watched. Like I mentioned, it's my sister's favorite movie, so of course we always watch it every single year. It's just an amazing movie, just teaching kids not to lose the spirit of Christmas as they grow older. And Tom Hanks, he's an amazing actor, so it's just an all-around great movie, and it is happening to be played at May Cinema this weekend, so that's very exciting if you want to get out and go. Saturday they're having a whole swing of Christmas movies, and Sunday as well, How the Grinch Stole Christmas and The Polar Express will be on Saturday, and then A Christmas Story, and then the 2018 version of The Grinch and White Christmas from 1954 will also be playing on Sunday. So that's very exciting to have some Christmas movies. If you don't feel like sticking at home for an evening or the afternoon, you can go out and bring your kids and enjoy a fun Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's kind of fun for some of those parents to show some of the movies that were popular when they were kids. I know It's a Wonderful Life has been one that's been mentioned in my house as well, Miracle on 34th Street, and, you know, which is oddly enough, as I mentioned before, Love Actually as well. You know, just some other ones. I know there's also some really interesting TV specials as well that are around the time. I've talked about Charlie Brown before. You know, one that really sticks out to me was the, you know, I Want a Dog for Christmas, Charlie Brown, which is a little bit kind of modernized in a bit. You know, it features the little brother of Linus and Lucy there. So are there any TV ones that kind of stand out to you, or any episodes of some shows that kind of stick out to you that you really enjoyed, mainly in the holiday aspect there?
Not so much, I guess, TV shows, but they always played the original cartoon version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and that was always the ones that my teachers would play at school on the last day before we went for Christmas break. And it's definitely a shorter story than the 2000 version, and I think that's an amazing version to watch, especially if you have younger kids who don't have that big of an attention span. I know that was perfect for me when I was a child, but it's also just a big classic that you can never go wrong with going back to. So I think that's one that it's always played on CBC. So I always just throw it on. It's always just a quick little short movie to watch. And I think that's a perfect one if you don't have a big attention span. But on the point of TV shows, I never really watched any really Christmas specials or anything like that, mostly just the movies.
Yeah, and of course, for me, one TV episode that really stands out to me, that's always been my favorite since I was a kid, was Arthur's Perfect Christmas from PBS, and it does air on CBC sometimes as well. And also, one last movie that's very underrated in my opinion, I just want to add there, 8 Crazy Nights with Adam Sandler. Even though it's not really technically Christmas, there are Christmas elements, but it's still a great underrated holiday movie in my mind nonetheless. Abby St. John, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, taking one last look here at your weather forecast. Heading into tomorrow, we are expecting -4 as our daytime high. We are going to be a little bit warmer, but the wind's still going to pick up a little bit for the most part. But we are expecting a little bit of scattered flurries on the weekend here. -4 for Saturday, -2 on Sunday. We're going to get a lot more cloud coverage throughout the week here, starting on that Sunday with -2 there. -4 there for Monday with that cloud coverage to the same. -9 to start off in the morning. We're going to have -12 to start the day off there on Tuesday as our daytime high. As we get into Wednesday, we're going to gradually start to see the sun a little bit more. -10 there, the low there at -16. We're going to have nice temperatures here for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day here. -1 on Thursday with mostly clear skies and a few clouds. And we'll have a little bit more cloud coverage on Friday on Christmas Day, but we'll still have nice temperatures there as the daytime high -2 and -7 as our daytime low. We look at our averages, -9 still the average there for our highs, and -18 is our average for our daytime low.
Thank you for joining us on Primetime Local News. Have a great night.